remote island in the Scottish Outer Hebrides after a cable-laying ship struck the rocks in gale-force winds. The men had to be winched off by helicopter after the ship ran into trouble off the island of St Kilda. The 2-hour rescue mission was filmed by Coast Guards. Here's Harry Smith.
The supply ship Electron had nearly reached the remote island when it lost power and was driven by fierce storms onto the rocky shore. On board were 9 passengers and 6 crew. They'd already tried to launch life rafts, but they'd been smashed against rocks. The Coast Guard helicopter which took these pictures represented their only hope, and one by one it winched the passengers and crew to safety. St Kilda, 50 miles from the nearest island, is uninhabited apart from the engineers who operate a military radar station and wardens from a bird sanctuary. Coast Guard say its remoteness made the rescue all the more difficult.
It took quite a time to actually get the helicopter out through the scene, and once he was on scene, the winching operation for them was also hampered quite badly by the weather and the wind conditions on scene, swirling around and buffeting the helicopter quite badly.
There's no sign yet of any spillage from the 100-ton cargo of fuel oil, but tonight the Electron is still precariously perched on the rocky shore. Harry Smith, ITN, in the west of Scotland.
Football, and Emil Heskey is the toast of Liverpool tonight. He scored a hat-trick in his team's 4-0 win over Derby. It puts Liverpool 4th in the Premiership and piles on the pressure for bottom of the league Derby. But the news wasn't all good for Liverpool fans. Michael Owen was stretchered off and needed stitches after a blow to the head. Alec Wilkinson watched the action.
Derby haven't won all season, and it didn't take long at Pride Park to understand why. Although the game was locked until the 18th minute, a significant moment in more ways than one. Emil Heskey with a header, but whilst he celebrated, Michael Owen lay stricken bleeding from the head. Off the ball, he was accidentally kicked by Chris Riggott. He was carried off for stitches and then later taken to hospital with concussion. It'll mean at least a 2-week break. Half-time changed nothing, Liverpool remained in control, and Emil Heskey was there again 9 minutes after the break. Heskey showed up Derby's defence again midway through the half. 3 to Liverpool, a hat-trick to Heskey. Meanwhile, the shouts for Derby boss Jim Smith to go echoed around the ground. But the floodgates by now were well and truly open. Patrick Berger made it 4-0. A great result for Liverpool, they're now 4th in the Premiership, but dire times for Derby. Alec Wilkinson, ITN.
And Fulham are back on top of Division 1 after their 2-1 victory over Blackburn Rovers. It wasn't easy. They went 1 down in the 4th minute after this from Matt Jansen. But Fabrice Fernandes soon equalised for Fulham, and the second-half penalty from Frenchman Louis Saha secured the London side their 10th victory in a row. Tennis, and Tim Henman has won his first tour title in 2 years. He overcame Germany's Tommy Haas to claim the CA Trophy in Vienna. The British number 1 took the title in straight sets, winning 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. Henman admitted it had been a long time coming. He lost the last 7 finals he played in. The Queen is travelling to Italy tomorrow for a 4-day state visit. She's due to meet the Pope, but Italians seem more interested in what she'll eat. Buckingham Palace is reported to have ordered garlic and spaghetti to be struck off the royal menu, along with messy sauces and berries that might stick in Her Majesty's teeth. Libby Vina is in Rome.
After a week in which she was treated to some of the best of British art at the Lowry Gallery in Manchester, the Queen is heading to Italy for a tour that will take in some Renaissance and classical masterpieces. She last visited Rome in 1980, becoming the first reigning monarch to pay an official visit to the Pope since the time of Henry VIII. Then she was dressed as tradition demanded, in a long black gown and veil. This time, when she sees the Pontiff, it's expected her outfit will be much more informal. Buckingham Palace says that's simply a reflection of changing times, not any mark of disrespect. She'll also find the Pope much changed. He suffers from Parkinson's disease and is said to be in very poor health. As on her earlier trip, she'll lay a wreath beneath the so-called wedding cake memorial, and there'll be time for some sightseeing, including the Roman Forum, as well as a side trip to La Scala in Milan. Much interest is likely to centre on what her hosts offer her to eat, since Buckingham Palace let it be known the Queen didn't want any garlic in her food. Most commentators in Rome suggest that that will present quite a challenge to the Italian chef. Vicky Vina, ITN, Rome.
And that's the way it looks this evening. We've bulletins throughout the night, and the lunchtime news is at 12:30 tomorrow. Meanwhile, from all of us here on the ITV Weekend News, have a very good night.
No sign of the weather settling down. In fact, there's more heavy rain on the way. Got some thick cloud moving in from the west, but you can't help but notice the great big lump of cloud moving up from the continent. That's heavy rain, and it's heading our way. In fact, later on tonight, it will be spreading to the southeast, and over the next 24 hours, we can expect quite a deluge for those already flood-stricken areas. So, obviously, flooding is an additional risk over the next 24 hours or so. In fact, rain will soon be arriving there overnight, so a wet end to the night here, with those showers moving in to western Scotland and Northern Ireland. In between, mostly dry, 1 or 2 mist patches forming as low as 6 degrees in a few spots. So some very heavy rain tomorrow morning for parts of eastern England, especially East Anglia and the southeast. Further west, some brightness, but those showers will be getting their act together, crossing Scotland, Northern Ireland, into other western areas of England and Wales. And although the rain will clear away from East Anglia later on, those showers will be spreading to many areas, and some of those could well be quite heavy and possibly thundery. Temperatures nothing special, as high as 12 or 13 generally, the low to mid-50s Fahrenheit. It's a summer.
Power, Jim. Power. Whatever.